Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today I've got a little update for you regarding the rumours that we talked about last week before? Either way, about the Space Marine supplements, and of course the Black Templars vs Orcs box. Going into this, as always, of course, it is a rumour, it is a leak, it is not something that we know is 100% accurate, it is not some sort of universal law, it is not God's own truth. The Lord did not split apart the clouds, stick his face into my back garden and go, impart upon the people my wisdom. They are going to be, the supplements will be in this order. That's not how that happened. I've received this information, I'm passing it on to you. We won't know whether it's true or not until it happens or does not happen. That's how these things work. I realise I am stressing this in, frankly, a condescending manner, but there were quite a few weird messages I got, admittedly, not via YouTube, I think from other sites that had reported on what we'd said, from people essentially saying, well, how do you know? I don't know. I said that in the video. I don't know whether it's a thing or not. It might not be. It'd be great if it was, because then it would be accurate and I'll have said the correct thing, but I may have said the wrong thing. But then again, I'm passing information on that was given to me, so even then, what do you want from me? We don't know whether it's going to happen or not. I don't know how to stress it any other way. Buckets of salt, oodles of salt, and the ocean of salt, whatever you want to consume with this particular bit of information, go for it. And if you can't grasp it beyond that, I don't know how to help you. Anyway, beyond that very rambly and somewhat ranty and kind of unpleasant tangent, let's actually talk about the information, shall we? So, there has apparently been a change in scheduling. So, Iron Hands and Raven Guard will now be the last supplements to come out, and Imperial Fists and Salamanders will be the next two to come out. Previously, it was the other way round. It was going to be Iron Hands and Raven Guard, and then after them, Imperial Fists and Salamanders. That order has now switched. To be honest, I could see Iron Hands being next up. That makes sense to me, and it made sense at the time, because of course Iron Hands already have their Primaris character. We've seen him. We know what he is. It's a Tech Marine, which is something that is needed, frankly, for the Primaris line. And it made sense to me that Iron Hands would be the next to come out. It's now puzzling that they be pushed to the back. I have to admit, the combination is still a bit weird. I don't know whether this is a sensible thing to feel or whether it's just me being weird. Given how much Games Workshop likes contrasting forces, it seems odd that they would release two chapters at the same time that are visually similar. Does that make sense? Raven Guard and Iron Hand both are essentially, would be at least, Primaris Marines in black armour. That would, I think, create a weird promotional thing there. Plus, we also have the fact that we've seen the dice boxes for White Scars that had Salamanders written on them, not on the dice themselves, on the boxes. It seems like Salamanders are geared up to go, which makes sense for them actually being the next supplement up. But it would make more sense to me for it to be Iron Hands and Salamanders, and then Imperial Fists and Raven Guard, than Imperial Fists and Salamanders, and then Iron Hands and Raven Guard. I don't know whether... Yeah, it's a weird one, especially since also we know that Iron Hands have got their upgrade sprue ready. It's all ready to go. We've seen, actually in the Codex, there's pictures of Iron Hands with their own shoulder pads, with these little icons with proper Iron Hands heads, ran full of cybernetics and stuff. It seems odd to me that they will be last, because it feels like pretty much all of their stuff is ready to go by this point. So again, that's what I've been told. I would actually be a little bit surprised if that turned out to be the way that they came out. I would honestly suspect Iron Hands and Salamanders to be first up and together, as opposed to it being Iron Hands and Raven Guard. Just because Iron Hands are ready to go, and Salamanders apparently are pretty much ready to go as well, or at least we've seen evidence that they're ramping up for their release. And yeah, I don't know whether the colour thing is anything to go by. I'm just going on the basis that a lot of when you look at the boxes that we've had, and they've said in one of the Voxcasts, they've talked about the fact that when they put boxes together and when they do kind of opposing release things, they go for things that are visually distinct. So the box that was like the Craft World versus, what was it, Wake the Dead. Those two forces, the way that they are coloured are very opposite. Raven Guard and Iron Hands are essentially the same colour scheme, let's be totally honest. And I think that would look a bit weird when it comes to promoting it. But then again, maybe I'm just reading too much into that, and that wouldn't really be an issue. But yeah, that's what I've been told. So Imperial Fists and Salamanders next, and Iron Hands and Raven Guard later on down the line. The other thing is that Black Templars will not be in the Imperial Fist book when it drops. So they won't be in that supplement. Instead, they'll get their own later on down the line at some point. Crimson Fist will be in the Imperial Fists supplement, but Black Templars will get their own book. I don't know what to make of that at all. I'll be honest with you, I really don't know what to make of that. That is one of those things where I would love it to be true. It would be so good if it was true, because Black Templars should have their own book. They are so different to most Space Marine chapters. Like if Dark Angels have got their own and Blood Angels got their own, why Black Templars haven't, I don't know. They did have. Just bring it back. I would like that to be true. I will be totally honest. Black Templars getting their own big box versus Orcs, like some sort of Armageddon storyline and their own supplement. It would be nice, but it feels a little wish listy, to be totally honest with you. Again, I'm not trying to disparage the person who's sending me this stuff at all. But with this kind of thing, you've got to look at it objectively. You know, you've got to try and think what's likely. What would you like to see, and what is likely to see are not the same things, sadly. In this case, I would love it to be the case that Black Templars get their own book. I really would. They should have it, in my opinion. I just don't know how likely that really is. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know whether that's something that Games Workshop would go back to. It feels like... No, you know what? No, having said that, I'm thinking out loud at this point, obviously. I was going to say they've gone to some lengths to condense things down a bit, but actually they haven't, because they've expanded back out with the Space Marine Codex and the supplement. So actually the argument for trying to keep things condensed and trying to keep things in a single book and easy to transport and all that stuff, that has... I mean, it had already gone out the window before we got to the new Space Marines Codex, let's be honest. But it feels... Yeah, they've abandoned it, haven't they, really? So actually that line of doubt doesn't really hold up. It's more whether they would put Black Templars in their own book, because there wouldn't be anything in the way of... I mean, would there be anything in the way of successor chapters, really? I mean, what could you lump in with them to make that a supplement worth owning? Like, what could you stick in there to maybe expand the army out a little bit so that there's a bit more unique flavour to it? Maybe introduce some things that make it like worth having a whole book for that particular force again, because there have already been Black Templar Codex. Oh man, I'm not sure about that. I don't know. Some of the things that I would put forward as being against it don't actually hold up to scrutiny at the moment. Like the idea of trying to condense everything down and make things less complicated and make things more streamlined and so on and so forth. Trying to remove the number of books you have to carry around, that is not the case anymore, because now we've got the Space Marine Codex and we've got supplements and there's the FAQs and there's all of that shit. Like, it doesn't really hold up that they would go, oh no, a Black Templars book would be one book too many. That doesn't really work anymore, does it? As a reason, as an excuse to not do it. Interesting. Yeah, I'd like it to be true. I don't know if it is, obviously. I cannot work out how likely it is either. I mean, if you're going to do a big box for Black Templars versus Orcs, then I guess a book to go along with it would make sense. It would be popular, for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one at all. Not sure. Okay, let me know what you think of that lot in the comments down below, of course. If you have any particular insights, you probably do, as in, like, anything that I haven't said that is more sensible than what I've said, which you probably do, then yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if there's any more development, if it gets anything else, obviously I will let you guys know, because that's the whole point. I don't think there's anything else. No. Oh, you know what? No, I will just quickly show you something. I mean, I've rambled well over what I thought I was going to go, as always. So, I have been working on something. Of course. Oh, God. He's a chunky lad. So, just a quick update on the Chaos Knight that I bought ages ago, and then totally forgot I had. I've started doing him. He's a bit fiddly. He's a bit tricky. So this is the current project. This is my Chaos Knight. Sorry, not Imperial Knight. Chaos Knight. So as you can see, not wholly standard. My ancient defiler that has been with me since the kit was released has been sacrificed for a greater cause. So now this thing. I didn't glue them, obviously, that'd be dumb. Now this thing has got 2 massive Defiler claws instead of 1 Thunderstrike Gauntlet, because why would you not do that? Obviously. I'll just pop that off so you can see what's... So, managed to actually wedge it pretty well into the hinge there. The other one is connected, it's drilled, it's pinned in the bottom, and then there's some green stuff cabling to make it a bit more rugged, and some parts off I don't know what. Those bits I believe are those bits I think are from the Typhon Heavy Siege tank in some capacity, but I can't remember what part of it they're from. But I had them lying around, so a little bit of extra cabling and servo goodness. So yeah, that is what I'm currently working on. Don't worry, I haven't glued all of this down. That is only fixed with a bit of blue tack. The arms obviously come off for painting, so don't worry. And there's been a little bit of extra stuff on here, so things like that spear, and the spears on the other shoulder pad, in fact. From the Skeleton Warriors kit for Age of Sigmar. I quite like it. I think it adds like an extra little something to the Chaos stuff. And there's going to be a video about that, actually, next week, I believe. Which should be fun. Essentially, what kits are really good for converting Chaos stuff and getting that extra spiky goodness. So yeah, that'll be a thing that comes out probably Wednesday of next week. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that at the end there. Why not? It's not really worth its own video at this point because I haven't got anywhere near finished doing it, but just a little random model update. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click all of the things, Patreon video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description down below. If you click that and buy something from Element Games, then I get a little something to send you that way. You save between 15 and 25% off 40k stuff, paint, other tabletop stuff as well, like bolt action, all that stuff. It's a nice way to support the channel with no extra effort because you were going to buy all that stuff anyway. So might as well do it from there if you want. Don't have to. It's entirely up to you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Toodaloo.